All right, for the record, Mr. Ethley is now in the courtroom with...
Justice.
All right, take him into custody. Take him into custody. I told you, sir, you did not have a speaking role today. You decided that you wanted one for whatever reason. I don't know why, but take him into custody. However, anybody on that side of the bar does not have a speaking role in any of these proceedings today. There's not going to be any hoopla or shenanigans from the gallery. You're going to be removed, and I'll talk about that in a second.
Now, for those of you that have been hiding under a rock for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, you probably do not know that controversial streamer Chud the Builder has been arrested in Tennessee, okay? Clarksville, I believe, Montgomery County to be exact. Now, he has been charged with attempted deletion and a slew of other charges. He has been held in the Montgomery County Jail. And at last we left him, his bond had been set, at $1.25 million. That was pending his actual bond hearing. That was his initial hearing at the time. Well, yesterday, I believe, or yesterday or the day before, he had his actual initial bond hearing. And his bond was set. It was lower than 1.25, but not really what he expected. And to be honest with you, not what I expected. But we're going to get into this video, and we're also going to talk about this guy that got arrested in the courtroom because, well, he has a past too. So we're going to get into all that. Of course, before we do, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you want to further contribute to the channel, I implore you to hit the hype button down below to help me out in the algorithm. If you want to financially donate to the channel, hit the Cash App $, Mr. Normie. So before I continue with this video from Associated Press and fair use to Associated Press, I want to show you the history of this other gentleman that got arrested. We'll come back to this, and then I want to read an article from AOL.com that details everything that Chud has been charged with and the separate bond amounts that came up to the amount that they gave him. All right, so let's get into it.
Conservative activist pardoned by President Trump for his role in the January 6th insurrection was led out of a Montgomery courthouse in handcuffs today.
It happened during a hearing for social media personality Chud the Builder, whose real name is Dalton Etherly. Etherly is accused of shooting a man outside the Montgomery County Courthouse last week. He faces a slew of charges, including attempted murder.
Now, before we continue with this, fair use to WKRN News 2. The title of the video is Pardon January 6th Rioter Let Out of Hearing for Chud the Builder in Handcuffs. He was cited with, I believe, contempt of court. But of course, he has a history, as you can tell by the title. And we're going to continue to listen to that before I get back to the original AP video.
Judge today set his bond at $1 million. During the hearing, the judge asked conservative activist Jake Lang to leave. Lang had reacted to video evidence being played in the courtroom. While being escorted out, Lang said something about a, quote, two-tiered justice system. The judge then ordered an officer to take him into custody.
Now, Lang is a self-proclaimed January 6th political prisoner, as seen here on his social media. According to court documents, Lang violently assaulted Capitol Police officers, attacking them with a baseball bat for nearly 5 minutes. He served 4 years in prison for his role in the January 6th insurrection before receiving a presidential pardon.
Wow, so you can see enemy spotted.
Enemy spotted.
This individual is okay, he did 4 years in prison for, as you can see right here. I had to blur out some of those images because for YouTube censorship. But you know what happened on January 6th. I don't have to go into that. It was a terrible moment in our nation's history. And he unfortunately was a part of that, and he did his time in prison. But he tried to disrupt the court proceedings, and he was locked up for it. Now, let's get back to the AP video.
These posts say.
The initial part says, I will defend my life with lethal force. Do not approach me with intent to threaten bodily harm.
I think it's reasonable to have a gag order on the defendant should he make bond. And I guess even while he's in the jail and has his, I don't iPad or whatever, but he cannot live stream, post, or anything that indirectly or directly encompasses these offenses.
Now, of course, during this hearing, the prosecution gives their evidence of why they feel like he should not get bond. Of course, they did that. I believe they showed some videos and some posts from his social media. I'm talking about Chud, or Mr. Etherly. They showed pictures from his social media and videos and things like that, why they think he should stay in jail until his actual court proceedings start. And of course, his lawyer is going to argue against that. And well, as you heard in the other video, they came to $1 million, but that's not the details. Let's go.
But the First Amendment is very important to a free country. Without us being able to talk about ideas freely, we can't really be a free society. Now, I mean, repugnant ideas are still protected under the rights of free speech. So people are free to go say whatever offensive things they want to say, as long as it's not calling for someone to hurt someone.
By the way, this guy, I believe he took Chud's case on consignment. I believe he took it on contingency. I'm sorry, he took it on contingency. I don't see anything wrong with that. Of course, this probably a hungry attorney. He wants to get a name for himself and for his practice, so I get it, right? If he wins, then he gets to, ascend to great heights of attorneys. And if he loses, well, I mean, who cares? But the word on the street is this guy's gotten several deletion threats and things like that. I mean, well, Dalton Etherly has the right to counsel, whether he's, regardless of what we think of him, his right as an American citizen is to have legal counsel. And this man stepped up and said, you know what, I'll do it. For better or for worse, so.
That's a $1 million bond.
Millions.
With the following conditions: no weapons, GPS monitor. There will be a gag order for Mr. Etherly regarding social media live streaming about the facts or the parties involved in this case. That's going to help him as much as anything.
Okay, so now that video's over. Those are some snippets from the case. I don't have a video of the full bond hearing, which it would be probably too long anyway with all the stuff that they presented. So let's get to the AOL article and let's get you the details. Here's the article in question from AOL.com. Chud the Builder bond set at $1 million. Wait a minute, where's my sound effect? Clarksville grand jury to hear the case. Let's scroll down, let's read it and get you the details and get you guys and gals out of here. The online influencer known as Chud the Builder, real name Dalton Etherly, will have a second case presented to a Montgomery County jury after a May 21st bond hearing turned into a preliminary hearing. The Clarksville contractor was arrested May 13th after a shooting outside the Montgomery County courthouse. He also has a pending Montgomery County case stemming from a November 18th arrest on harassment charges, according to an affidavit from Montgomery County General Sessions Court. That case was bound over to a grand jury in April. The May 21st hearing before Montgomery County Judge Reed Pollard III lasted for about 3 hours before a packed courtroom, including testimony from almost a dozen witnesses, most of them called by the state. Woo-wee. Paramedic called as first witness. First to testify was Emma Waters, a paramedic with Montgomery County Emergency Services. She treated the victim, Joshua Fox, at the scene. Walters said Fox was awake and alert, but sweaty and pale after being shot 4 times. She said she thought Fox may have suffered a punctured lung and decided to send him to Vanderbilt University Medical Center via life flight. Fox did not appear in court May 21st and officials were not able to say when he might be able to appear. There was some discrepancy in court over the number of times Fox was shot, with Pollard saying he'd been shot 5 times due to a missing bullet that had never been recovered. One thing that was not in dispute was why Etherly was there that day. Edith Moss, who works in the Child Support Division of the Montgomery County District's office, testified he was due in court at 1:30 p.m. for a case to set child support.
Bitch, ain't no fucking way.
Woo-wee. Okay, well, that's why he was there. Now we know to set child support. Megan Croder, who works extra duty on the Montgomery County Crime Scene Response Team, collected a .380 caliber handgun and several shell casings from the scene. She testified. This is the evidence that was brought to the case. Montgomery County Information Technologies Robert Bamford said there were 12 videos, each showing different angles of the shooting taken that day. God, woo. Enemy spotted. That just some 12 different angles. God, man. 2 were shown in court. In one of them, Ethan Lee is seen walking up to Fox holding what lead investigator Michael Weber said was a selfie stick with his cell phone in one hand. After exchanging words, Ethan Lee is seen walking away. Fox is then seen walking up to Ethan Lee. The two exchange words, and Fox punches Ethan Lee. Weber testified that Ethan Lee is seen reaching into his pocket as soon as he walks away. Ethan Lee's attorney, Jacob Finley, asked Weber why the arrest warrant, which Weber had handwritten, left out certain details. According to Finley, Ethan Lee told detectives after the shooting that Fox told him he was a veteran having a PTSD episode and that he would delete Ethan Lee. So now, of course, the argument of self-defense will still come into play regardless of what's going on. But according to this, Ethan Lee is seen walking up to Fox. That started the whole bit with a selfie stick. They exchanged words. Ethan Lee walked away. Now remember, Ethan Lee, aka Chud the Builder, is become very good at antagonizing people in public. So he probably walked up to Fox. Fox is a black man, okay? He probably walked to him, called him the N-word, and antagonizing this guy. They end up exchanging words. Ethan Lee walks away, and then now he gets to claim self-defense when Ethan Lee actually started. It looks like, according to this, Ethan Lee started this entire argument. Allegedly. Finley asked Weber if he believed Fox could have deleted Ethan Lee, giving his gun and hand-to-hand combat training. And Weber testified that Fox might be capable. Finley also asked Weber if someone emptied the magazine like Ethan Lee did, could it have been in panic and not premeditated? The investigator responded by noting Ethan Lee's prior video recordings on social media, which he said he'd seen after the shooting. Quote, he puts himself in those situations so often that he couldn't be concerned, and emptying the magazine could be a panic or evidence that the gun was intended to be used. All right. So we're arguing that Ethan Lee and Finley, they both have, I guess some kind of experience. One is a veteran. The other, Ethan Lee, he has weapons experience as well. So could this have been premeditated? And they're saying, well, yes, because of Ethan Lee's content, that is possible. Other evidence presented during Webster's time on the stand included the results of Ethan Lee's car and home searches. The investigator said body armor and a printed plane ticket to Istanbul, leaving Nashville May 22nd and returning May 27th, were found in Ethan Lee's car. At his home, police took 2 laptops, 3 cell phones, suspected marijuana, a .22 caliber rifle, a shotgun, and different kinds of ammunition. All right. Now, this plane ticket has come under scrutiny as of late that I've seen a lot of content creators talk about. But because it had a return ticket, people were saying, well, he wasn't going to run because there was a return flight in there. So it wasn't that he was going to run away. Maybe he had this planned at some point to do content or whatever. So again, we'll see about that. Inside courtroom during hearing, 2 people were involved in separate incidents inside the courtroom during Ethan Lee's hearing. One person was escorted out. I showed y'all who that was. The other person, one person was escorted out. The other person was later identified as Jake Lang, an online conservative, quote unquote, figure, convicted January 6th participant and former Florida Senate candidate. He ran for Senate? I didn't know he probably lose on that one. Okay, yep, he spoke out, blah, blah, blah. Yep. During Montgomery County investigator Adam Lieberton's time on the stand, several of Ethan Lee's social media videos were shown in court. In one video, Etherly is heard uttering racial slurs, as he always does. Etherly was heard on a live stream saying, "We're in America, bro. They want to threaten your life. You take theirs and live stream it. I don't want to delete them, but if they threaten me, it teaches them the truth that they have no power over us being him and being white people." That's, his shtick, his content. Etherly's live stream from the day of the shooting was also played. He's heard saying, I walked up to him because they were pointing and laughing. And I said, "What's up, guys? Like the new suit?" And Fox said, "I have PTSD, and if you start saying that expletive, I'm going to hit you," and he hit me. So once again, it looks like possibly Etherly walked up and, these guys were pointing at him because Chud has made himself very viral over the last few weeks. And so whoever was out there probably saw him pointing, and there goes that guy laughing. Chud walks up to them, say, "What's up?" Starts talking mess back and forth. And now the situation is set. Now here's the last bit, and then we'll get out of here. Bond set at $1 million. Finley called Etherly's stepfather and brother, who both testify Etherly would be reliable in coming to court if granted bail. District Attorney General Robert J. Nash requested bail conditions for Etherly, including GPS monitoring, gun restrictions, and a gag order. Finley argued for Etherly to keep his guns, limiting them to just his house due to public outrage over the case. He also argued that a gag order limits Etherly's First Amendment rights to free speech, but Pollard disagreed on both points. Now, yes, since he's already shot at somebody, I think it would be counterproductive for him to leave his weapons at his home. Granted, yes, Etherly's facing several threats on his own bodily self because of what's going on and because of his content overall. This is true. However, you now have shown that you can do bodily harm to somebody. Because of that, the judge is like, well, you better get you a stun gun, you better get you some mace, something, because you will not have any weapons that are able to take, magazines or ammunition in your home or in your possession at all, as they say, full stop. Bond for each charge to equal $1 million was first degree attempted deletion, $400,000. Where is it? Employing a firearm during a dangerous felony, $30,000. Aggravated assault, $50,000. Reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon, $20,000. By state law in Tennessee, if someone commits a new bailable offense while released on bail, the law mandates that the judge set the bail for each new offense at not less than twice the amount set for that specific crime, bringing his bond to $1 million. The conditions of Etherly's bond include a GPS monitor, no firearms, no contact with Fox or family by him or a third party, a stop on his passport application, and if complete, he must surrender it. A gag order prohibiting him or any of the state's witnesses from commenting on the trial on social media. Although Etherly had someone willing to pay bail, a source hearing will have to happen before he can post bail, the judge said. So, the stuff that I've been hearing on social media and YouTube is true. Someone has stepped up and said they're willing to pay his $1 million bond. They don't know who it is yet, but this person has to basically be put on the stand first before this will be granted to happen in his behalf, right? Etherly had someone willing to pay bail. A source hearing will have to happen before he can post the bail. And of course, it says here they're going to have a demonstration outside. Of course they will, because this guy's a racist. But you see, they're going to have a demonstration outside of his, outside the courthouse probably. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, wait a minute. Lang on social media have promoted a rally titled Free Chud. Okay, never mind. This is in his defense. Whatever. Okay. So they said here, by state law in Tennessee, if someone commits a new bailable offense while released on bail, the law mandates that the judge set the bail for each new offense at none less than twice the amount set for the specific crime. Okay, so you know what that means, right? Because I believe Chud was already out on bail for that one incident, I think they said like a month or so ago, when he skipped out on a tab at a restaurant or something like that. So what happens is the $400,000 goes to $800,000, the $30,000 goes to $60,000, the aggravated from $50,000 goes to $100,000, and the reckless endangerment from $20,000 goes to $40,000. So they double all of these to equal up somewhere to $1 million, right? Oh, so they just round off to $1 million. Man, oh boy. Yep, let's see, 800,000. See, the 50,000 goes to 100,000, so that's 8. The 30,000 goes to 60, which is 860, and then the 20 goes to 40, which is goddamn $1 million. Man. Well, y'all see it here, right? Chud the Builder bail is now set at $1 million. Somebody has stepped up to pay it, so we will see if he's free. He will still be able to live stream, but he won't be able to talk about the case at all. So at least he gets to somehow still probably make money, but he can't talk about the case at all. And he's probably going to tone it down, because if he gets into another altercation, it's going to be even worse. Or he can just double down on his content and keep going. And well, we'll see where that goes as well. And with that being said, y'all, you see it, $1 million bail for Chud the Builder. He's already got to pay for child support for somebody else. He's also on bond for skipping out on a tab for a restaurant. So we'll see what happens to all this in the future. Streamers are taking L's, y'all. And I still got to talk about Hulu. I'm not done with him yet for, him getting caught by Gideon. All right. So we're not done with that. And as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. We're out of the door. Let me know what y'all think about all the stuff down in the comment section. I will see you on the next video.